The homestand has been perfect so far for the green and gold, and there has been a little bit of everything. The A's have supplied plenty of power as they have hit 7 big flies. The defense has been spectacular. The starters have stepped up pitching deep into games. The bullpen has been outstanding. And why not throw in an extra inning walk-off to complete a fun week of baseball in the East Bay? Today, the Athletics look for 6 in a row and their second straight series sweep at the Coliseum. It's the A's and the Tigers, and it starts right now. Beautiful Sunday afternoon for baseball. Man, the A's are hot. They're now 20 games over the 500 mark. They go for the sweep this afternoon. Behind Trevor Cahill, it's the A's and the Tigers coming up on NBC Sports California, powered by Xfinity. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Oakland A's baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kepper. Well, we have not had a whole lot to complain about when it comes to the Athletics as of late. Maybe one area, Ray, where we'd like to see some improvement. Starters pitching a little bit deeper into games. We've seen it in this series.
That's a good point, because it started on Friday night with the one guy that everybody had hoped would do well, and that is Brett Anderson. He went 7 innings at a game that was just flying along. He had a great breaking ball working, unlike what happened in Colorado. Then last night, Edwin Jackson pitched into the 7th inning, did an outstanding job. He would give up a hit. The bullpen came in and took over. And then today, Trevor Cahill hopes to follow what the 2 predecessors have done. Cahill's 2-0 in his last couple of starts. He's gotten some run support. He just needs to do it today. But oh, by the way, the club's not scoring a lot of runs, so maybe he does have to pitch deep in the ball game, because 1-0, 2-1. That's really the way it's happened so far.
Yeah, the offense has done just enough to win both games in this series. But for areas where we'd like to see a little improvement, let's go down to Dallas Braden. Dallas, what do you got?
Well, I think you guys have absolutely nailed it. You talk about the starting pitching starting to get deep into the ball games. Well, you've got to score runs. And we talk about teams getting to the postseason, what it takes to get there, but what does it take to sustain your presence in the postseason? It's those timely hits. And you take a look at these numbers, very indicative of why the success was had against the Blue Jays, but here against the Tigers, not getting those big hits. You take a look at the sac flies, 0 against the Tigers, only 1 against the Blue Jays. So 1 sac fly over the course of 2 series. You'd like to see those hits start to come a little more frequently. They put it all together. This is a team ready to make a postseason push.
No, let's indeed hope so. Thanks, Dallas. So Francisco Liriano and Trevor Cahill, that is your pitching matchup on this beautiful Sunday afternoon here at the Coliseum. We'll have lineups and first pitch when we come back. It's the A's and the Tigers coming up.
Toyota. Designed for the grind that comes through every time. See your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota. Let's go places. By Southwest Airlines. Low fares. No hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Jack in the Box. Try the $5.99 Jack Spicy Chicken Club combo with toasted sourdough. New from Jack in the Box.
So Trevor Cahill and the Athletics take the field, trying to finish off the 3-game sweep. They'll be visiting Detroit Tigers. Let's look at the game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. Beautiful day here in Oakland. Lots of blue skies and 67 degrees. So, Tigers in town. Let's take a look at their starting lineup. It's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. And here it is. Mike Gerber's going to lead off. He's going to be in right field today. Iglesias is the shortstop. Castellanos will DH. Goodrum's the cleanup hitter. Candelario's at third. Aducci's the first baseman. McCann, Rodriguez, and Reyes round out the Tigers starting lineup.
And if White Rabbit is playing, that means Trevor Cahill is pitching. And Trevor Cahill making his 13th start of the season. He's won his last couple, and he's really got some run support, as we mentioned, but the A's not scoring a lot of runs, but he's got the newfound changeup, the curveball, of course, always the sinking fastball, getting more strikeouts, but same number of ground balls.
Defensively, the A's have Canna, Laureano, and Piscotti in the outfield. Chapman, Simeon, Lowry, and Olson on the infield, and Josh Fegley is the catcher today. Trevor Cahill has finished his warm-up tosses, and we are set for baseball. So Mike Gerber, the right fielder, steps in. Trevor Cahill looking for his 4th win of the year. He kicks and deals the first pitch of the game, and it's a swing and a miss. That's Alfonso Marquez calling balls and strikes. Brian Knight is at first. Pat Hoberg's at second, and that's Jerry Davis. He's the crew chief, and he is down at third.
And a very aggressive swing on the first pitch of the game by Gerber. And you're looking for the cookie, the 4-seam fastball, get me over strike. Little move. But I don't know if Trevor Cahill can throw a fastball straight. A lot of movement on his fastball, especially.
A's with a 1-0 win on Friday, a 2-1 win last night. So this series has been all about pitching.
Yeah.
And the A's pitching has been just a little bit better than the Tigers pitching. A couple of home runs last night helped.
Yeah, that's a great point. That can only help a ball club to be able to play those kinds of games, especially last couple of months of season. And if you do that, you know it's going to be a struggle. You have to make the plays defensively. You have to make the pitches on the mound and maybe just get enough hits. They got just one on Friday. Bob Melvin enjoyed a nice run with his ball club, similar to 12 and 13 and 14.
A little bit inside.
Well, what we've seen is we've got 2 outstanding starting performances from Brett Anderson, Edwin Jackson, both getting deep into the ball game, something we haven't seen a lot of. Pass that baton on to Cahill.
Saw some good changeups already in this first at bat by Gerber. I think Fegley thought he had strike 3 on the fastball inside with the movement, but did not get the call from Alfonso Marquez.
3-2 pitch. Here it is. A little flare to center, and going into the dive is Laureano. He's going to play it on a hop. So it is possible to dive, or actually slide and play a ball on a hop.
Exactly, and he did. He's got the speed, playing shallow ball, jammed Gerber, and as he went after it, I mean, it's dangerous when you do it, but it's nice to be able to have the quick hands to be able to catch a ball that does bounce, and it goes into the slide. Not a headlong dive, but a slide instead.
So it is a leadoff single for Mike Gerber, and here's Jose Iglesias. First pitch to Iglesias is a fastball outside.
The dangerous part about the slide and just catching the ball is that if it gets by you, you're on your ground sliding forward and have to recover quickly and try to hold him just to a double.
Iglesias has 3 hits in the series. The Tigers as a team, of course, just the 1 run. And with that Gerber hit, a total of 14 hits in this series.
Now the defense playing it pretty much straight up. A couple of doubles down the left field line from Iglesias. One we saw from this angle on Friday. Last night from the angle in center field or left field, the treehouse.
Iglesias bunts, and he bunts it foul. Well, today any 95-mile-per-hour fastball is our fast pitch, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go.
Yeah, Cap, he was bunting for a base hit. And, you know, it's one of those, I think, the official score standpoint, you have to really acknowledge the fact that 2-0, which probably should have been bunting, considering Trevor Cahill having a tough time throwing strikes already in the first two batters.
And now the count 2-2. Good performance last night by Edwin Jackson. Got the win, gave up just a run on 5 hits, pitched into the 7th inning, and that 1 run was unearned.
Yeah. And that's the great thing about the way he pitched, because he gave up the unearned run in the first inning, and it took a 2-out base hit to score the run, but then settled down and gave up nothing after that.
Cahill scoops it, fires to second, a little bit low, and Marcus Semien could not hold on, and everybody's safe.
Threw his best sinker to second.
He threw a nasty sinker, and Marcus, that is a tough deal for an infielder, because Marcus is on the move, and you're really on the move, and then you got to bend over, and that's very hard to do.
Let's see where he throws it. He is on the, I mean, it's right down, and Marcus really probably thinking 2. And he's going to get an error, Trevor Cahill will, because he threw the sinker. Marcus Semien, you know, probably thinking about 2 if he gets a chest high throw, but instead it's down low, and plus he could not hang on. Ball right in the end of the glove and not up into the pocket. And that's the ugly first 2 batters.
XMO brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort, and that's how a middle infielder gets hurt.
Well, what's tough about that is Cahill was obviously trying to make a strong throw to second base. Coming up that ramp, though, the front part of the pitcher's mound, and you saw him lower his arm angle, and that is in an effort to adjust to the fact that he is now throwing uphill, because if he tries to get up on top of that, we might see a really nasty sinker from Trevor Cahill.
Well, pitchers are taught when they do throw to the bag and throw it chest high. And unfortunately, it was a sinker, and Marcus, Cobb's point, did not get hurt.
And a quick 0-2 to Castellanos, but
this is what I mean. You'll see his arm angle drop here, right there, sort of like an infielder, and you can see the rotation on the ball. It's side spin, but it's a 4-seam grip, the best he can get on it. But with his natural movement, as you guys mentioned, it's going to take him into the path, take Marcus Semien into the path, and a tough play for him to adjust on.
0-2 to Castellanos. What you also saw in those replays too is you see how vulnerable Marcus Semien's lower half of his body is when a throw is like that, and Marcus was able to avoid any contact.
This is a case, Cap, it might be the good rule that you can't deviate and try to take somebody out and slide past the bag, because that's a great opportunity for a runner thinking there's going to be a double play, and maybe do something at second to the middle infielder.
Yeah, this is the year 2000. Marcus Semien is getting pilled off the left field wall.
Yep.
1-2 pitch, got him swinging. Castellanos strikes out.
Well, we talk about Cahill's ability to dazzle with this newfound changeup here, and that's what he got. Castellanos, he's got him out front, pulls the string.
Well, PitchCast is brought to you by SoFi, a modern finance company. And with 1 out, Nico Goodrum will hit.
I thought Kirk Gibson, who's doing the telecast for the Tigers, who had Trevor Cahill in Arizona as a manager, said something very important. He said he had the changeup and curveball there, but they weren't effective. Here, they're effective, and that's the biggest difference for him since rejoining the ball club. Gibson, and Tiger broadcasters, of course, in 1984 World Champions, and that was with the Tigers, but the Dodgers, the big home run in Game 1 of the 5-game World Series against the Dodgers, or the Dodgers against the A's.
right center. It's Piscotti and Laureano. It's going to be Laureano who grabs it and gets it in quickly. So that is out number 2.
Sorry, Foss. I just wanted to point out the mechanics of Laureano out there in center field. What he does here, you'll see him, he gets behind this ball, he gets around this ball. Now watch his hips. Right there, he turns the hips, and that's what allows him to create a nice directional throw over to third base. You hear him talking, I got it, I got it. Turns the hips, lines himself up beautifully. Yeah. That arm was on display earlier.
Yeah, I think I was just going to say the fans reacted to the throw. And that's the impressive thing about a young man, just his 3rd game. About 2 outfield assists in the first 2 games for Laureano. Got the big throw at third base and the overslide at second last night. But very impressive for the young man. But, you know, to the point that Dallas made, that's great for a young player to do that. But also after Friday night when the ball dropped, where he didn't take charge, he took charge there, and that's what you want to see out of a center fielder, regardless of his status as a veteran or a youngster.
It's about learning, right, Foss? It's about learning at the big league level, and that's kind of what we've seen unfold here over the last 72 hours.
Absolutely.
He's made a mistake, but you know what? He's made up for it, and he's learning.
Well, he also realizes while he may not succeed at the plate, he can do it defensively, and he's shown that. And getting the 1 big hit Friday. Some opportunities since then, with a runner at third and less than 2 outs, but defensively he's not carrying it over into the outfield.
2-0 the count to Jeimer Candelario.
You see how he's turned sideways in the outfield? He's not straight up. He's turned to the side almost like he wants to prepare himself to go back on a ball.
3-0 to Candelario.
And you watch as he gets set, he'll take his left leg and put it in front almost like he's hitting. But it just is kind of in the starting blocks.
Could the sun have anything to do with that as well?
It could be, maybe. But I noticed it last night. He was doing that as well. I think it's just his way of setting up.
Yeah, and it's pretty much what he's comfortable with doing in terms of taking a drop step. So a ball to his glove side or to his left, he'll take that left leg, drop step, turn and run. Anything to the right side of him where he's got to stretch out and make a reach across his body, he's already geared up to start taking off in that direction.
So here's Adduci hitting right at 250.
I think
playing just his 20th game.
2 plays we saw in center field on Friday night, just joining the club. He was not afraid of the wall, got back very nicely.
That one headed over toward, he's ground screwed down in the far end of the dugout. So Cahill has struggled in the first inning. His first inning ERA is right at 6. He's allowed 8 of his 27 runs in the first inning.
When you think about all the movement that Cahill has on his pitches, the sinker, the changeup, the breaking ball, can be tough for a guy to sort of hone that very early on. That's why over the course of the first inning, maybe even the second inning, you get a real good feel for what breaking ball you might have, what off speed you might have, your ability to locate your entire repertoire and sort of work from there.
So he's ahead of Adduci 0-2. Runs high.
Did I hear Dallas say sanker?
Sanker.
Sanker.
That means it's good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, a decent pitch is a sinker. Yeah. A nasty pitch is a sanker.
Correct.
1-2 pitch. Spins a curve that floats outside.
Well, from Fegley's standpoint, one inside, this one back door, just didn't break sharply, kind of went back up curveball that stayed outside. Fans thought it was a strike, but did not stay in the strike zone.
2-2 pitch, foul right back to the screen. Adduci went after a high pitch. So 27 pitches here in the first inning for Trevor Cahill. The base runners, a single, an error, and a walk. Cahill trying to leave him loaded, and he does. So he gets Adduci swinging, and the Tigers come up with nothing in the top of the first. first. Their lineup is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Simeon, Chapman, Lowry, Davis, Canna, Olsen, Biscotti, Laureano, and Fegley.
Francisco Liriano, yes, he's been around for a long time. A's actually saw him in Houston last year when he was traded, went to the bullpen. But Liriano now with the Detroit Tigers did not face the A's back in Detroit, so he is making his 17th start with a 3-5 record. Just out of the bullpen in his last appearance, but basically a 3-pitch pitcher. And the amazing thing with so many righties in the lineup today, he likes to throw his slider predominantly to left-handers, but not as many fastballs. Does throw the 2 and 4.
First pitch in, first strike to Marcus Simeon.
I tell you, Foss, how things have changed. 91 coming in on the heater, and I can remember a day where 91 was probably where his slider was sitting. An electric left arm early on in his career, Francisco Liriano, under the tutelage of one Johan Santana, another great southpaw.
Pretty good mix in 2006.
Yeah, 2006 was Liriano's rookie season, and to say he burst onto the scene would be an understatement. He was 12-3, an ERA of 2.16. But he had Tommy John the next season.
Right. Exactly. Remember that?
He was filthy. Man,
I want to say the A's were in town when he walked off the mound.
You may be right. Simeon gets called out on strikes on a pitch on the inside corner. Here's the defense behind Francisco Liriano. It's Goodrum in left, Reyes in center, Gerber in right, and Candelario, Iglesias, Rodriguez, and Adduci. James McCann is your catcher. But thinking back to that 2006 season, Ray, and correct me if I'm wrong, but of course the A's played the Twins, right? And in the postseason, and the A's had to open in Minnesota. And I remember a lot of baseball experts, for whatever that means, but they said, you know what? It's going to be tough for the A's because they're going to have to face Santana and Liriano in the first 2 games of the series in Minnesota. And the A's beat them.
Swept them in 3. Actually beat them here.
But they beat those 2 guys in the first 2 games of the series. And then after that,
set it up. You're right.
It was pretty much done. Once they beat those 2 guys in that series, you could see what was going on. And obviously only a 5-game series. But I think even if you would have split those 2 games in Minnesota, then you would have been happy. And the A's ended up winning them both.
That's a good point, because at the time, I want to say it was like a 2-3, but when the A's swept there, and then Marco Scudero had a bases clearing double down the right field line in the 3rd game, and the A's swept, but unfortunately the Tigers swept the A's right after that in the American League Championship Series. That was the only time the A's actually got through the division series without losing Game 5. They didn't go to Game 5. That was a good year with a lot of home runs hit by the Athletics, and Big Hurt Frank Thomas hit 1 in that series back in Minnesota and got the A's on the board, and the rest was history.
Shift is on. That's the second baseman, Ronnie Rodriguez, who was playing right behind second base, and he throws out Lowry, and a quiet first inning for the A's. Hey, that's David Renetti, who of course is the Vice President of Stadium Operations for the A's. He's been here for a long time, and that is his beautiful new daughter Colette, and he was showing off Colette today, as he should, before the game. She's a beauty.
Showing her off everywhere.
That's great.
It's great.
He had breakfast with her.
Yeah, breakfast, took her to mass. I mean, everything.
I know what that feeling is like. The minute you're able to scoop her up and take her out into the world, you want to show everybody how beautiful and how proud you are. Got to hang out with Dave and Colette in the clubhouse today. That was very nice to see the smile on his face.
Yeah, I think she's going to get what she wants from Dad.
That's how that works,
yeah,
huh?
Pretty sure that's the way it's going to be. Colette Renetti.
Well, the one's having a great day is Adrian, his wife.
That's right.
You know, Colette, the baby's here with Dad. Oh, just Adrian, hope
she
you're
better be enjoying herself.
Yeah, hope you're having a good day.
Close pitch, could have been a strike. 2-1 the count. This is the catcher James McCann. Tigers left him loaded in the first. McCann pinch hit last night. He was the final out of the ball game. Trinan got him. On Gardenhire. McCann swings and misses.
Time now for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. How about the first inning for Trevor Cahill? Houdini, because first two hitters got on base, one his own fault with a sinker to second, but then gets out of the inning. There's a fly ball to center field, and he gets a strikeout of Aducci to end the inning. And what an inning for Trevor Cahill. If he gives up most of his runs in that inning, it's over, done. Settle down and go.
So the first pitch to Ronnie Rodriguez is in first strike. 6 home starts this year. Cahill's ERA is 1.13. Overall, making his 13th start.
And there's something to be said for a sinker baller in a big yard just like this. He can attack with his game plan, can be aggressive. Just a show me pitch.
Sure. Cahill signed with the A's on the 19th of March, so he was a late sign. There was teams that wanted to sign him, and he decided that he's going to go back to the Athletics. Chapman reaches down, foul ball.
Oh, this is where he won 18 games in 5 months and signed that long-term contract. And then went on to Arizona, and different clubs, but good to have him back. And you know, I think sometimes with age, as long as you're healthy, you're going to be more knowledgeable and smarter as a pitcher. And I think we've seen that with Trevor Cahill, and especially adopting a couple of good pitches that have helped him tremendously. I mean, you can be a ground ball pitcher and a strikeout pitcher because you have 2 good ones and a changeup and a curveball. Always said that's a great combination to have.
And he gets another strikeout, so he has 3 strikeouts in a row.
Well, you've nailed it, Foss. Just an understanding of who he is now a little better the second time around. Got a 94-mile-an-hour super sinker boring down in on the hands and the back leg. You know, that's just a very tough pitch to even think you can get to, let alone offer a swing at. I mean,
Fegley. Nice play by Josh Fegley. Cat quick behind home plate, and he throws out the speedy Victor Reyes. back in the booth, back in the office. We were out of the office last night. We were doing the game from the treehouse, and man, that was a lot of fun. We had a good time. It was a good game. It was a big crowd. The crowd was into it.
I'm just wondering if Chef Effie knows that we are undefeated when Foss gets a Monte Cristo. Does he know that? Because if he doesn't know that, he needs to know that.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct.
Well, Chef Effie actually stopped talking when there was a play. Dallas's guess had the big home run. But at least Chef Effie was looking towards the field. Dallas's guess, as he was interviewing them, had their backs, and Katie went deep. It's all right. Got a chance to show a replay.
You know, every time we turned around, of course, we had the great food, but every time we turned around, there was a little less food. I think some of our fans were maybe taste testing a little bit, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that.
BI also.
How's the right side of BI's face doing today?
Biagio Alavito, ladies and gentlemen, Stat Man of the Year, 4 years running.
Yeah.
You know what, and we love our stat man up here, as our viewers know. But you know, for all the things that, you know, production-wise, everybody's worried about getting it done, and the guys in the truck were terrific. Delaire LaWours, our producer, Mike Bird, our director, Joe McCarthy, our stage manager. They did a great job. BI, because he's so loyal to us and loyal to statistics and numbers and out-of-town scores. You know what he was most worried about, Ray?
What?
How's the internet out in the field?
That's right.
That's what he was worried. That's
he went
what
out
BI
2 days
was
before.
about.
That's right. He went out 2 days before to check it out. See that white awning? That's where we were. But that's it right there. Those are the fans that are taking the food.
Dallas was a big hit. So was the hat.
Yes, the hats were a smash.
Oh, there it is.
Tried a little bit of everything.
and the banjo man.
I tell you what, the lyrics to the Banjo Man song were unbelievable. Let's beat the Tigers.
And very fluid as well. You know, no verse was the same.
He spent a lot of time writing that song.
There's the hat,
buddy.
Yeah.
He gave us hats last night, homemade hats.
What's he got? His son's glove?
Yeah.
Jeez. Look at that glove, the size of that glove. That's a kid's glove, man. Look at that.
That is awesome.
That is,
look at that glove.
He's ready. Look at him.
It's an infield trainer.
That's what Ray's hand looked like in his catcher's mitt when he was playing. Dallas, did you find the hat, though, uncomfortable to sleep in? Like, it just didn't fit me very well when I was laying in bed.
No, it felt great for me.
Did it really?
You know, I cranked the AC and wore nothing but that hat to bed, and I was just fine.
Nice.
It's a great visual, isn't it?
We appreciate that, gentleman. He had those hats specially made for us. Sharp slider. And the count 3-1. Did he go? Nope.
Oh.
Let's see, no headset, though. That was the difficult part, but you wore it well, Dallas.
I tried.
See, that's the gentleman. We didn't talk to him because he was in Colorado and we lost all 3 games.
Yeah, bad juju there.
But they were good A's fans. They were a lot of fun. They were excited to see us, and we were excited to see them.
And this young man's excited to get back in the lineup.
He's a little under the weather.
Yeah. You know, he said, it's just a little bit of virus. And you know what he said? This is one of the great things about this ball club. The first thing he said, Friday night, I really didn't feel that great, but, you know, B.A. called him. Brett Anderson had a perfect game. He said, I want to make sure I can do my best in the outfield. This guy's got a perfect game going, which he did for 5 innings, 5 1/3. That's a teammate concerned about his pitcher, wanted to make sure that even though he didn't feel great, that he wanted to do his job defensively.
So Canna strikes out on a mighty cut.
Batting in the 6th position, first baseman, the 28.
Well, he gets that slider. He sees it up early. Wasn't a devastating pitch. Obviously, something Mark Canna knew he could probably handle if he was able to get to it. Just frustrated with himself. Something he thinks he can get to, no doubt.
So here's Olsen. This will be an interesting matchup. Olsen, the only left-handed hitter in there for the A's. And Francisco Liriano, whatever his record is or has been, he has always been tough on left-handers. Hard slider. Goodrum in left, waiting, and he's got it 6 up, 6 down for Francisco Liriano. No score after 2.
Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency.
So no score, top of the 3rd inning. The A's and the Tigers. And a beautiful Sunday afternoon. A's will have an off day tomorrow, and then they will host the Los Angeles Dodgers Tuesday and Wednesday. Just a 2-game series. Another off day on Thursday, and then A's will be in Anaheim for the weekend and then right back home.
So they're not the Los Angeles Dodgers of Los Angeles. They're just the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yep.
It's the Los Angeles Angels.
They got there first. The Dodgers.
Okay, Dad, what's he doing now? When's the cotton candy? Yeah, I see that. Now, when's the soda? See, he's got the same glove our buddy's got with the hat.
Oh, no, that one's a lot bigger than.
It's true.
In the dirt, swing and a miss. Fegley flips to first, and that is 5 strikeouts for Trevor Cahill.
Well, he's got it working, and if the numbers prove that the first inning's a tough inning, he got through that one, and here comes the Uncle Charlie, and good block by Josh Fegley, as he did with the last batter. Reyes actually threw him out on the bunt. This time blocks the ball, clears himself, and releases a quick one to first base. And Trevor Cahill got everything working. Now, you strike out with changeups, curveballs, and fastballs, he might match his season high of 12.
First pitch to Iglesias. He's in for a strike. Dallas, wanted to ask you, we were talking about Cahill and when he first came up and you were on the team. How is his stuff different now than it was in his first year? Is it any different than it was?
I don't know that it's necessarily any different. He has better command of his stuff now. When he showed up to the big leagues, he was a guy who was able to sort of outstuff individuals just by virtue of the crispness of his off speed. The changeup wasn't necessarily something he utilized a ton. He was big time sinker, curveball. They started manipulating and sort of messing with his repertoire, changing it, trying to refine it. But the second time around, guys, here in Oakland, just being able to talk to him about the game on a different level is what I've really noticed.
So the stuff is pretty close to the same, but just maybe he's using it a little bit different.
Exactly. There's an understanding that a young man starts to gain when he's spent time around the league and he sees the opponent multiple times. And that's something he's always been great at doing, fielding his position, ending up in a nice position to be able to defend himself, react. He's always been a great fielder. He's a sneaky good athlete.
Yeah. Dactyl.
The dactyl.
But, you know, if you're a sinker ball pitcher, you got to be in a position to field and hit that off the heel of the glove, but recovered quickly enough.
See, I think there's a little leg kick there too for balance, maybe when he lands. Don't you think?
It's a good idea.
What do you think of it? Watch the right leg. Got to have a little balance. Yeah.
You know, he does teach karate.
That's beautiful. I love it. And you know what? He probably doesn't even know he's doing it. Getting a little extra on it. Very good ground ball percentage. That's not a big surprise at all.
Well, remember we saw Rich Hill. He finished that with a fastball. I mean, he had.
Rich does all kinds of crazy stuff.
I mean, you watch him, you can't hit him.
Hit pretty well to right. Piscotty hustling back. Piscotty in front of the wall. Makes the catch. 7 in a row retired by Trevor Cahill. Bottom of the third coming up. Well, weekdays, Greg Papa, Ray Ratto, Kelly Johnson bring you the happy hour. It's also available to listen live and as a podcast at NBCSportsBayArea.com. No score from the Coliseum. A's and Tigers. It's the bottom of the third. So Francisco Liriano, early on at least, is pretty sharp. Liriano's one of those guys, Ray, every time you watch him pitch, you say, how does he get knocked around? And he's had a good career.
Well, I know a game that you remember. 2012 in Minnesota. Remember, he struck out 15 in 8 innings. Right, first game after the All-Star break. Johnny Gomes hit the grand slam. Was it the Nards fan dropped the ball in center field?
Somebody dropped. Yeah, somebody gave the A's an opportunity, kept the inning going or something.
Yeah, and Gomes hit the grand slam, but he struck out 15 batters in 8 innings. The hard slider right after the break, but he kept throwing a hard slider back foot. Guys couldn't make contact. Got the loss. 15 punch outs in 8 innings, but he was good, especially with a hard slider. But right now, he throws the slider, does not have the velocity that he had then. And I think that's one of the biggest things for him.
This one bounced fair. Ducey has it. So that is out number 1. So look at this. Dallas Braden, you squared off with Francisco Liriano 3 times. Well, he got you once, but you both pitched well. I mean, are we off base here, Dallas, that His career record is 105 on 104. So he's got 105 career wins, but his stuff just, it looks like he should have an even better record than that.
I mean, I tell you, just from not only having competed against him, but having the opportunity now to be able to continue to watch him, there's certain guys across the game that you wonder, with their velocity, with their ability to execute, why, oh why, do they find themselves more times than not on the losing end or behind the 8 ball?
Foot job, that's going to be a hit. Ramon Laureano has a 1-out single.
Hey, you take it, and you got the one big hit on Friday night. Did not execute last night with a runner. Got the breaking ball, jammed him, but hit it just softly enough into left center and gets his second major league hit. And that's a good way to start. That's a first hit, first base runner against Laureano. Now he has to pitch out of the stretch. But Laureano got a hit off Liriano. And tell you what, he's a very good defender, speed. And I think it's a good move to bring him up, especially the ace in as many lefties as they will be seeing and have already.
Who's pitching for the Dodgers? Have you seen Manai and Anderson are going to pitch for the A's? It doesn't look like there's anything official from the Dodgers yet.
I see, there's going to be some lefties, and we're hearing Hill and Kershaw.
Yeah, that's the rumor.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons that Laureano was brought up, because the A's were going to be seeing a lot of left-handers, and Dustin Fowler, being a left-handed hitter himself, was not playing a lot against lefties. That party wasn't playing a lot against righties.
No, not
Trevor
much.
Or Mark Cannon was playing center field.
Laureano in the minor leagues had 11 steals in 13 attempts, so he does have the ability to swipe a bag.
And I think that's something to think about when you've got the resources that Bob Melvin now has in Laureano. Your ability to try to create offense, put the game in motion a little bit. Not something the Oakland A's have done a ton of this year. Matter of fact, they're last in the game in terms of stolen base attempts.
Nice thing about Laureano's speed, though, sometimes being able to be a good base runner with speed, first and third, is the optimum. So if you get a base hit, lefty, and then one of the problems, a young player coming up, you have to try to figure out a pitcher. I mean, you'll see them looking at what he throws to the hitter, but Laureano, if he's going to be attempting some steals, might have been looking at Liriano and his move to first base, trying to pick up something.
1 and 2. Now, stolen bases are great, but and again, to do first to third, you have to have some help from the hitter. I mean, the hitter has to have a base hit, but I think if you're comparing to that first to third play, I think is more difficult on a pitcher than if somebody just steals a bag. Obviously, it is because he's getting to third base, but where were we where the A's just kept going first to third? I think against the Giants, remember, they did it like 4 times in a row, and the inning just kept on rolling.
Yeah, you get big outfields, and really smart outfielders are going to not try to throw to third base on airmail one, allow the hitter to get in the scoring position as well. And sometimes you make the smart play by throwing to second.
So 2-2 to Fegley with Simeon waiting in the on-deck circle. Check swing, lined into the seats. Not going anywhere, and the pitch missed inside 93 miles an hour.
First 9 batters, that's the third 3-2 count that Liriano's had. So once again, A's, even though he had a very good first inning, just the 9 pitches, but all of a sudden the A's starting to be a little bit more patient and making sure he throws strikes, not swinging a lot of bad pitches out of the strike zone.
And he got him swinging. Liriano was not running. In fact, he was going back to first base. So third strikeout.
And pull the string. Nice change up. Maybe watching Trevor Cahill, but not afraid to throw it. And he's not overpowering with a fastball. Not surprised to see him go with a change up. He also has a good slider he can throw for a strike. Well, heck, he had 15 in one game.
That's right.
You know, so
that got him on that list. Liriano's been with the Twins, the White Sox, the Pirates, the Blue Jays, the Astros, and now the Tigers. So he has bounced around. He had some good years in Pittsburgh as well, along with the good years in Minnesota.
And every time I hear that resume, I think of the late great Hall of Fame manager Sparky Anderson, who managed the Tigers. If he's left-handed and breathing, I'll take him. Well, that's what he is. Got a ring with the Astros last year, as we mentioned, traded from the Blue Jays over to the Astros to put in the bullpen.
That's right. He pitched out of the bullpen.
He was a starter for the Blue Jays and throughout his career, but there in enough time, he saw him out of the bullpen towards the end of the season. Nice World Championship ring you got.
Well, and I think he could be a good reliever because he's tough on left-handed hitters, but sometimes he tends to walk people, and that can be an issue.
That's right.
You don't want your bullpen guys to be doing that. And a 4-pitch walk.
Remember, A.J. Hinch only had Tony Sipp, the lefty, out of the bullpen, so they did add one. And sometimes it is hard to make a starter a reliever.
How about that? Lowest percentage of strikes in the American League, it's Liriano. So the walks have been an issue this year and really at times throughout his career.
And that right there is enough to not get you into the bullpen and get you into the back end of the bullpen. You've got to be able to throw strikes.
Yeah. That's going to get you. That's going to get you into the long relief role if you go to the bullpen. Chapman swings and misses.
0-2 fastball last night from Zimmerman, and Chapman, his 14th home run, and no doubt in the left center field. Just a bad location on a pitch. Chapman took advantage of it. So let's see. He can play defense and he can hit. Is there anything he can't do?
That one called a strike. Didn't look like it. So these are the numbers at home. Break it down. First 30, last 17, and it's really not just at home. He's just been a better hitter lately, but at home it's gone way up. The batting average, and it hit him. So an 0-2 pitch hits Matt Chapman.
Oh, they got him someplace that's not good because he froze. Lower part. It'd be hard to get him out of the game, but Bob Melvin, Brian Shulman, take a look, walking with him down the first baseline, and well, they talked about the slider here. It comes inside, it just goes too far. Ay. Above the left knee.
Right above the left knee, and there's a nerve that runs along the side of your leg right there called the perineal nerve, and you ever get that thing zapped right there in the lower part of your leg, just feels like you can't move it, you can't put pressure on it. Just a little bit of a stinger.
This news brought to you by Dr. Dallas Braden in the
WebMDB. WebMDB, folks.
That's right. But if it's a nerve, it's like the crazy bone. If it's hit, that goes away.
Yep.
So let's hope that's the case with Matt Chapman.
So the bases are loaded. First pitch to Lowry is a strike.
And you know, I don't think Matt Chapman will pull a Carlos Gomez as he did last night. He got hit and then fell down. That was hilarious.
Yes.
And he got up with a big smile on his face. No, Matt Chapman, I don't think would ever do that.
So Laureano, Simeon, Chapman are the runners. All kinds of speed on the bases, and now it's 0-2.
Well, the arm side run from Laureano here has sort of befuddled Jed. Couple pitches up at the very top of the zone. First pitch might have been able to go either way. Didn't work out for Jed here. Finds himself 0-2.
There's a hard slider, and you see Laureano slipped a little bit. That's the pitch that Laureano wants you to swing over top of. That's pretty good take by Lowry.
Yeah, but you know, that's the key right there. And maybe earlier in his career, it's a hard slider. Velocity-wise, the hitter would not hold up. But if he doesn't throw it as hard, then it's at least something that you can see as a hitter and see the spin on it and know where it's going. But if it's hard, you're geared up for a fastball. That's why you guys do swing over.
And he went with a fastball that's up and away. And now the count even at 2-2. Lowry grounded out in the first inning.
The fastball up and in. He's gone to the changeup against the righties.
Missed outside. Full count.
It's amazing. Ever since the base hit by Laureano, this inning has turned into a strikeout. Did a 4-pitch walk and hit batter with 2 strikes, and now 3-2 with the bases loaded.
There's a shot right into the glove of Candelario at third. Side retired. So can't do much more than that if you're Jed Lowry, but right into the glove of the third baseman. Jelly at Nordstrom.
MLB At Bat is your #1 athletics app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get A's home screen icons and features such as the MLB TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today.
So top of the 4th inning, Trevor Cahill back to work. He'll face Goodrum, Candelario, and Adduci. 5 strikeouts for Trevor Cahill. Just one hit so far for the Tigers, and that was the first batter of the game, Mike Gerber, and it was kind of a bloop single.
Yes, it was.
Olson has it. Olson will take it himself, and that's out number 1. That's 8 in a row retired by Trevor Cahill. So whatever was going wrong in the first inning, he has certainly figured out.
Well, the numbers don't lie. It showed the numbers in the first inning, and that's why getting through it. And maybe, and sometimes the adjustment a pitcher has to make, of course, at home, he comes straight from the bullpen to the dugout briefly and then to the mound. On the road seems to be one where the pitcher might have a little bit difficulty if his team's sending a lot of hitters to the plate. The thing about being a ground ball pitcher, if they're within reach of an infielder, it's great, but they can be just out of reach, and the ground ball pitcher that you are ends up being a base hit in the outfield just past an infielder.
And every once in a while you may have one of those starts where the ground balls just find a hole.
Exactly, absolutely. And I think from Trevor Cahill's standpoint, the fact that, yes, and just like this at bat, he goes behind 0-2. Candelaria walked on 4 pitches his first at bat. But he knows he has a changeup and a curveball that he can go to instead of just throwing a fastball. But even his 2-0 fastball with movement can be difficult for a hitter.
Canna to his right, waits, and he's got it. Well, that is out number 2 here in the top of the 4th inning.
You know, we've talked about Tommy John, the surgery. Tommy John, the pitcher, like Trevor Cahill, you have a good sinker, and as a hitter, you go to the plate 2-0, 3-1, you're thinking fastball, wait a minute, he's got a sinker.
Sure.
And it's just enough to your mind to say, I'm going to be geared for a fastball, but not 100%, because if you throw a sinker, you beat the ball on the ground. You got no chance. But that's what movement on a pitch can do, especially in fastball counts.
That one is hooked down the right field line. Could be trouble. Adduci headed for second. Adduci is going to around second, and now he puts on the brakes. He looked a little uncertain as he approached second base, and he decided to stay there, which was probably the right move.
Exactly. There's no reason to try to go to third when there are already 2 outs and you're in your scoring position, but that pitch just stayed right in the middle.
Well, coming around second, or as he's getting to second base, like he might have been a little late picking up the third base coach. Take a look here. There, you just saw him as he hit the bag. I mean, you've got the play in front of you for a while until you start to creep to second base, and that's when, just after halfway, you want to pick up that third base coach.
Yep.
He's going to let you know what you're going to be doing.
If you round second like he did and stuff, you could hurt yourself. I mean, pick up Dave Clark 5. I mean, he's going to let you know. He may sing it to you, but at least he'll let you know. This is, watch this route. And then he picks up. No, you pick him up. I mean, I would always think third base coaches, a thankless job anyway. Let them be your eyes.
Yes.
You know, don't even think about, because they can see the play developing, and if you're running and looking, you're slowing down, as my partner pointed out on Friday night with Iglesias. I mean, it does. It does slow you down.
But I would think a third base coach, they may not say anything. Maybe they do. I don't know. But they have to be frustrated.
Thank you.
I mean, you have to be sitting there going, just look at me. It'll be a lot easier for you.
And you know what? I think that's what makes Matt Williams so good at what he does. He spent his entire career over there at the hot corner. He's taken the game in from that position his entire life. He's got a tremendous feel for where the guys are. You do your homework before the series starts. You know who's got the throwing arms, who does a good job of getting behind the ball in the outfield, who hits their cutoff man. So when you've got that information at your disposal and you feel like guys aren't paying attention, you can understand where the frustration comes in.
2-1 pitch, just a touch outside. So now it's 3-1 to James McCann. That's the on-deck hitter, Ronnie Rodriguez. Chapman's got it. Chapman throws in time, and Cahill gets out of it. So a runner stranded at second. We are going to the bottom of the fourth. Chris Davis will lead it off.
Brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
The famous Paramount Theater in downtown Oakland. Here at the Coliseum, we reached the bottom of the fourth inning. No score, so more pitching. It's been the theme in this series with final scores of 1-0 and 2-1. Chris Davis with the home run last night. He takes the first pitch called to strike. Chris Davis grounded out in the second inning, so he is 1 for 9 in the series. But again, that one hit a home run. Number 30.
It's 3 years in a row with at least 30 long balls from KD.
Trying to get to 40 again. That one is drilled right center field, and it is gone.
31.
Number 31 on the year for Big Crusher KD. Crush Davis. Liriano tries to go down and away with a heater. That's a nitro zone for KD, folks. He's got no problem delivering big blows opposite field. Boys, you got your luggage? It's time to go. Next stop, Pound Town.
Amazing, 31 home runs, and throughout his time with the Athletics, and we talk about his opposite field power, that's just the 6th home run this year against a lefty. 31. Trevor Cahill gets the run, a 1-run support. Pitching very well right now.
Tell you right now, KD goes deep. Mark Canha at the dish. It is bat flipping season, boys. You remember the bat flip heard round the bay from Mark Canha. Trying to channel my best Mark Canha, Foss.
You look good in that. Liriano scrambles after it and throws out Canha.
Well, Liriano, like Trevor Cahill, fielding position, you have to be a fielder once you make the pitch. And he falls a little bit towards third base, but backhands the ball, knocks it down, able to get Mark Canha. Now, did Superman have that shirt on underneath his jacket, or is that just a quick fit?
I keep it on underneath, boss.
Yeah, Superman. That's it. Just whip it off. And let's go. showing off the guns. Size small shirt.
You know it, Fox. I told him, you guys got something with a medium in there, something with the sleeves constricted. Gotta help your man out.
Looks good though.
Anything for a little marketing, huh? You know, flip a bat, get a T-shirt.
There you go. I think it just, you know, it speaks to the vibe in the clubhouse right now. You see a lot of the guys wearing them around, but just the unity that comes to the surface. Team goes on a nice run, start playing the game the way you expect to play the game at this level as a unit. Come up with things to rally around it.
Rally around Chris Davis, another home run, that's for sure. Cap, you talked about Matt Olson. Is Liriano getting ready? But for Matt Olson facing Liriano, he's had such success against him. And to your point about the slider, a very effective pitch, I don't think that's a problem for him. Was there.
And that one is going to get down for a base hit. Well, Matt Olson serves it out there for a hit.
And that's what makes this young man a very good hitter.
Well, the reason we bring that up, lefties in the career against Liriano, 217, and this year, a 113 batting average, left-handed hitters against Liriano. So that's just the 8th hit that he has allowed to a left-handed hitter this year. So that's why we're talking about that matchup.
And that's a great point, because we saw Blaine Hardy on Friday night against Matt Olson. He couldn't throw a strike to him. Ends up walking him on a 13th pitch. You know, the numbers for Liriano, he's accustomed to facing lefties, and especially with a slider thrown effectively, he's going to get some big outs.
Piscotty grounded out to first. Checked his swing, and he went around. It's Brian Knight down at first.
Well, he's looking for a pitch, didn't get it, and well, I give again Alfonso Marquez credit for going to first base to Brian Knight. That means that Marquez is watching the ball instead of the bat or the batter.
Scotty bunts it up the first baseline, but it's foul.
The good folks at StatCast were kind enough to put the numbers together here on the homer from KD. Follow the green line, 105 off the bat, 21-degree launch angle, an absolute seed, 405 feet away from home plate.
StatCast AI powered by AWS. So just 2 behind JD Martinez and Jose Ramirez for the, not just the league lead, but on all of baseball for home runs. 86 RBIs now for Chris Davis. Down in Los Angeles, the Dodgers are leading the Astros 3-1 in the top of the 4th inning. That's Cole and Buehler, the pitching matchup there.
See, Buehler was scheduled to pitch Tuesday, so if he's pitching today, that's the reason they've moved it around a little bit. He was originally listed as one of the pitchers against the A's.
Astros trying to sweep the Dodgers. They won Friday night 2-1 and last night 14-0, but the Dodgers leading in today's game. The Astros will be in San Francisco Monday and Tuesday. And then they will head home to host the Seattle Mariners Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that's what the Astros have coming up. Astros with a 5-game lead over the A's, 7.5 over Seattle in that AL West. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Astros have won 4 in a row. That's a base hit left center field. Olson is going to try for third. And the throw's going to go into second where nobody's really covering, and it's first and third.
This is what we talked about, doing those little things, right? You want to get to the postseason, you want to stay in the postseason. How do you do that? Doing the little things correctly. Matt Olson with a great read here. The ball right in front of him. He understands he's able to go first to third, but it starts with Stephen Piscotty putting together a heck of an AB, spitting on some pitches and battling, keeping himself alive. And for a guy coming into tonight, 3 for 31 over his last 8 games, a heck of an AB for Stephen Piscotty.
So first and third, 1 out for Laureano.
I hate to rag on an infielder, but why doesn't the place just die for that ball? I mean, first and third versus first and second. You know, I mean, you reach down in a little dive, and you know that's a big 90 feet. And for Olson to read it perfectly the way he did, but you know, if an infielder, you don't want a clean uniform the whole game. You know, just sometimes just get dirty. And that ball to the left of Iglesias, he didn't dive for it, and at that point, it becomes a first and third.
So 1-0 the count to Laureano, who had a bloop single in the third.
Change up, hit it to right field.
Missed again, 2-0.
When you can tell by the way Laureano took that pitch right there, that front foot, I'm just a little bit over. He's looking for that ball out over the heart of the plate. He's got himself a nice hole on the right side with Piscotty over it, being held over at first base. Choking up on the bat is Laureano, looking to just punch something to the right side.
And he's got a base hit to right field. Nice job of hitting by Laureano. Olson trots in to score. Piscotty stops at second, and the A's lead it 2-0. That's very good hitting by Ramon Laureano.
Well, that's smart hitting and good call, Dallas. And you know, basically that's what you're trying to do. You see change-ups, you know, off-speed pitches, and even with a fastball, 2-0, left it out over the plate. Laureano got the pitch, but the fact that he took the changeup previously allowed him to see that pitch in a quick at-bat.
Well, we like that at-bat too, as Bob
right.
Melvin does. And that's kind of what we've been talking about, Ray.
Yeah.
Laureano, you could tell by that swing, he stayed closed. He wasn't trying to hit a 3-run home.
That's right. And that's exactly, he didn't want to hit a ground ball to hit in a double play. And to your point, when you close up, you don't roll over. And if you're trying to hit a 3-run home run, you're going to roll over.
And you watch that swing, and he really kept his front side in, kept the belt buckle in, and he looked like he hit it exactly where he wanted to.
I still think you go back to inning number 8 on Friday night when Laureano, in his rookie or his major league debut, was 0 for 2. Bob Melvin left him in the game with a runner at second base. He left him in. That showed a lot of confidence, and that's probably why the skipper was cheering the way he was for a base hit to right field. But give that man credit also for leaving the young kid. If he had taken Laureano out on Friday night in that situation, he may be done. But he left him in. The kid had to be thinking, hey, he believes I can do it. He ends up getting the game-winning home run, or base hit in the 13th inning. It's a couple of hits today with a ribby.
One and one to Fegley. And now 1-2 to Fegley. They struck out in the third. So 4 hits in the inning, including a home run by Chris Davis and an RBI single by Ramon Laureano.
You know, it might be 1-2, but having watched Fegs around the cage the past few days, obviously each round requires you to do something, take a different approach to the pitch. He's a guy who's done a great job of peppering balls the other way.
But he's strong and he can do that.
Fair ball right near the bag. Candelario fields, steps on third, throws to first. And that's a double play. A's do get 2. The first one coming on Chris Davis. Home run number 31 on the year. 5th inning coming up. 2-0 A's. Show me the Oakland A's in your X1 voice remote and get live stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. So Lariano, Cahill both going 4 innings. Cahill just a couple of hits allowed, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. As he faces Rodriguez, Reyes, and then the top of the order, Gerber. I wanted to finish a note on that Astros-Dodgers game. Couple notes, actually. Roberto Osuna, there's the controversial acquisition by the Astros. He was activated today, finishing up his 75-game suspension. Also, Lance McCullers was placed on the disabled list today by the Houston Astros with some elbow discomfort. And then during today's game, George Springer, Ray, slid into second base, and we just saw the highlight, and he jammed his thumb, and he was in a lot of pain, and he had to come out of the game. And remember, they're playing without Correa and without Altuve.
And let's not forget that when McCullers on the DL, he's going to miss a start. That will be the first time, because the Astros have had their starters make every start. Yeah. 5 starters, that's all they've used all season, and McCullers becomes the first. And so it's, wow. Springer's,
yeah, it was ugly. It was ugly. He slid hard into second base, and he just jammed his thumb right on the bag, and he was in a huge amount of pain and immediately came out of the game. So haven't seen any reports on that, but
Trout did it last year in Tampa, and he missed time on the DL.
So if we hear anything about that, obviously George Springer, very important part of the team. Attaboy, Z-Man.
Z-Man, put your hat on. Attaboy, Z. Sun's out, guns out. Look at, oh baby,
he's got that solar panel in full effect.
Tell you what, though, they're looking a little bigger. I think he's been working out.
He's been with Dallas.
He's been working out, man. Rodriguez strikes out. That's out number 1.
A's Access is here, and it's redefining the way you can be part of the A's family. General admission access to every single 2019 regular season home game. That is special. Plan of reserved season tickets, or seat tickets, 50% off concessions, 25% off merchandise, and parking discounts. First opportunity to purchase 2018 postseason tickets. Everything, all that. You can learn more at athletics.com/2019 today. A's Access every game your way, not our way, your way. And that's something that's very special for fans to remember. It's your way.
A's Access. Even sounds good.
Yeah, it does.
So 1-1 the count to Victor Reyes. Tell you what, though, it is hard to believe when you look at those AL West standings and you see the A's 5 games behind the Houston Astros.
Yeah. Let's not forget, last year the Astros ran away with the division. It was all about maybe a wild card in the West, but you know, it's hard to repeat, and that's why so few have done it.
Well, on June 15th, the A's record was 34-36. And they were 11.5 games behind the Astros. Since then, now they're 66-46. So they have picked up 6.5 games in the standings, and they've picked up 6.5 games not because the Astros played bad, because the A's have been playing unbelievable. So just 5 back.
Now the run differential is huge too. You look at what the A's were and what they are and have been, and
that's going to be another strikeout. Fegley picks it up, slings it to first, 2 away. 7 strikeouts for Trevor Cahill.
Well, he went from searching for it in the first inning to having found it somewhere in between the mound and the dugout. And this is a tidy little cutter down and in. Not the movement the lefty's expecting to see out of the hand from Cahill. Maybe a changeup, maybe a sinker, something fading away. Nay.
Well, you saw 2 things: the way Reyes reacted, and also how it looked like Fagley went for the ball disappointed because he missed it. It wasn't in the dirt. Thought it was initially, but I think he was upset that he had missed the pitch, and that's why Reyes looked back and said, oh, it's rolling away from him, because he knew the pitch was above ground. But Fagley reacted. Another assist. That's 3.
I tell you what, Ray, if the ball ever goes below ground, we got ourselves a story.
Well, you know,
like that.
that's a good way to put it, I guess. Dig deep.
It's right. Keep that ball above ground.
That's right. And you know what I meant. You know,
I know exactly what you meant.
I mean,
I've worked with you for 15 years. I know exactly what you meant. Pitches in for a strike to Mike Gerber.
I think anytime a catcher, of course, his job is to block balls in the dirt. But if a ball is not in the dirt, to put it a better way, then you want to catch him. And when he didn't, disappointed.
So full count to Gerber, who has singled and struck out. Just 2 hits for the Tigers on the day. Got him. Seventh inning, Trevor Cale strikes out the side, all 3 swinging, and we are headed to the bottom of the 5th. 2-0 A's. The Tigers. And Marcus Semien to lead it off against Francisco Liriano. First pitch is low. So the A's, we like to read these numbers. Just, I don't know, they're just fun. 20 games over 500. The A's have won 5 in a row. They've won 11 out of 14. Here's a good one. The home record for the A's is now 31-22, which is pretty good, right? They've won 7 in a row at home and 13 out of 15 at home. Dallas, home cooking.
That's what we're talking about, getting comfy here back at the Coliseum. Wasn't necessarily the case early on. Offense sort of stumbled out of the gate at home. And I tell you what, they have picked things up, there is no doubt.
The key in this game is Liriano getting a base hit. Man, ever since that happened, I mean, 7 in a row retired by Liriano to start this game, and all of a sudden a lot of trouble. Rick Anderson had Liriano over in Minnesota. Now he's got to go to the bullpen.
Yeah, they're moving around down there, so we'll see who gets up. But to finish that point, Dallas, at the end of May, the A's were 15-15 at home. And then, of course, June hit, and we know what happened around the middle of June. That's when the A's, everything started to fall in place. I think we should go back, Ray, and examine that game on June 16th when this all started.
Yeah. That's right.
It was just a regular old Saturday afternoon game for us. A's beat the Angels that night. I don't even know if it was a night game or day game. Everything, and I mean everything has gone right for the A's since then.
Actually, it was a Saturday game because they lost Friday night,
They
won
lost
Saturday,
Friday night.
Sunday, and they won 2 out of 3 against the Angels.
Yep.
And that started the roll because beating the Angels, they beat Lamb started, then Heaney, and
you just don't know when it's going to happen.
Well, and again, I think it speaks to the progression that the club as a whole has made, not necessarily a team getting hot, just a team getting better early on in the season. And they've been able to sustain and maintain that sort of performance.
So this was the next day.
That's right.
Okay, so we're talking about the Saturday, and that's when this great stretch started. And then on Sunday, Luke Croy with a walk-off hit. So the homestand ended on a good note. They won the final 2 games of that series, Saturday and Sunday. And then the A's went to San Diego, which I'm still convinced that the game in San Diego is, you don't want to say I don't even want to use turning point, but
it was,
the game in San Diego when Piscotty hit the home run with 2 outs and nobody on to tie the game against Brett Hand.
the A's had 4 hits in that game going into the 9th inning. And he hit the home run on a 2-2 pitch. Lowry hits the home run off Simber. The A's hit 5 home runs the next day, and the rest is history. That's really taken off at that point.
Yeah, it's what they call, my dear friend Tim Kirkjian has introduced me to the circle game. You circle that game on your calendar.
Sure.
You go back to that if you're in the month of September and you think it's this game right here. This was one of those games. This was the turning point in the season. This is when things really started to click.
You know, Cap, we talked about it, how horrible the A's were against the Western Division. All those games at that point, and they won 2 out of 3 against the Angels, and since then,
been better.
Yeah, a lot better. And it was within the division. And you know, as we all talked about the fact that if the A's are going to have success, they're going to have to play well against the teams within the division. And that series they did, winning 2 out of 3 and taking off since then. Astros could have won all 4, won 3 down there.
And then we had a nice little run through the Central, the AL Central, and that's, you know, the Oakland A's have done a good job of winning those ball games. You hate to say games you expect to win because everybody here at the major league level expects to win, but as a team, you go into a town, you know, hey, you know what, we've got to walk out of here with 2 out of 3 at least.
And one of those games in Cleveland, they're facing Corey Kluber.
Yeah,
and the fact they got him out after 7, could not get to Cody Allen. He got the bullpen in the 8th. The A's won. So little things throughout a season, and I think everybody in this A's organization, considering the way they're playing, they realize it's time to make the moves to be able to do it, because it's a special time and you don't see these times all the time.
3-2 pitch. Chapman rolls at foul. I think it's nice, Dallas, that you got the great Tim Kirkjian's name into our broadcast.
Yeah. I think he's the best.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's the most knowledgeable, I think, of the talking.
Foss, I tell you, man, he's a guy, I jokingly say this, and with all the respect that you could possibly place on somebody, he's impossible. It's impossible for him to have a normal conversation, meaning you're just going to be getting historical fact after historical fact, a recall of a conversation with a Hall of Famer. He's going to drop some of the most unbelievable statistics and facts on you. It's like opening up a baseball Encyclopedia Britannica on audio, and it just rolls and rolls. I love every minute I'm able to spend with that man.
He to me, throughout his career, has been one that if he speaks, you want to listen.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's not just talking to hear himself to talk. He's really saying some good things.
That one is drilled toward the gap, but hustling over there is Victor Reyes, and he makes a nice running catch.
Now, fans, it's been 4 years since the Dodgers came to Oakland, and almost 30 since that memorable Fall Classic. Be part of history again when the boys in blue come north to the Bay for a 2-game series. They're starting this Tuesday, August the 7th, 7:05. Make sure you grab your tickets for this series at athletics.com/California, athletics.com/California. And yes, we know they go across the Bay, but they come here very infrequently, and it's always good Clayton Kershaw's coming to scout out, have a beverage.
Well, you know what Kershaw did? He was watching our broadcast last night, and he saw us in the treehouse, and he said, you know what I'd like to do is maybe fly up there, or maybe head out to the Coliseum, have a beverage or two, and just get a feel. Just get a feel of what the Coliseum's like, and check out that treehouse. So it's good to have Clayton Kershaw in the house.
But Kersh, you got to be paying attention to what's going on the field, not just kicking back in the treehouse.
He's scouting a totally different game right now.
That's probably true too.
We got Luger. Oh, that's Lunger.
Lunger. So Clayton Kershaw, and we're just teasing him. He will be. It sounds like he will be on the mound. One of the two games.
I think it's Tuesday. I think it's Wednesday. I'd say so. We're Tuesday, both night games.
Lowry taps one slowly right side. Rodriguez flips with his glove, and they got him. Nice play by the second baseman, Ronnie Rodriguez.
It was a tremendous heads-up play by Rodriguez at second base. Obviously, if you got the shift deployed, you see him hugging second base. He's got no chance to make the exchange here. He's got to go straight glove to glove. Good job by Aducci as well on the back end. Good stretch.
I always say for a middle infielder, you have the smaller type glove anyway, and that's what you need to make this kind of a play. You don't need the long glove that you might flip the ball straight up in the air.
So Simmons now at second, 2 outs for Chris Davis. Davis takes a little bit low. So that's what the matchup's going to be. Rich Hill and Sean Manaea, and then on Wednesday, Clayton Kershaw, Brent Anderson.
4 lefties.
All lefties.
Yeah. Oh, I'm loving that.
Yeah. All lefties.
Well, we know from Hill and Kershaw you're going to see some pretty good breaking balls, different types. Still very good breaking pitches, curveballs.
Mariano throws, and they got him. So Mariano stuck with it, picked it up, and threw a dart to first. Side retired. Games on NBCSportsCalifornia.com and the NBC Sports app. It's presented by your NorCal Honda dealers. A's 2, Tigers nothing. Top of the 6th inning. That's what you do, man. Come to the game, get comfortable, eat. That's what we did last night. We came to the game. We got comfortable. We ate.
We crushed.
We did.
We crushed.
Fortunately, we had jackets because we needed them late. The sun went down. Not for the folks today out in the bowl because it's a beautiful day. Well, you have to think 84 pitches for Trevor Cahill. See, B.I. needed that cap to the side to protect the right side of his head last night. That would have been great.
And that is a quick strikeout of Jose Iglesias. That's 4 consecutive strikeouts for Trevor Cahill. He's got 9.
And he's digging himself right now, as well he should be. That hard slider there. 81 down and out. And he's making some pretty good hitters look pretty silly right now. There's another guy digging himself, digging the hat wear.
Yeah, we definitely did that last night. That's Bill Murray, isn't it? Caddy
say. It's Kyle Spackler. Mariano on the move, tracks it down. Nice play.
Got the speed, and he showed it there. Long strides, quickly getting to the ball. Ball slicing away from him, too, from the right-hander, Castellanos, who goes that way. And look at the strides. Perfectly handles it, 2 hands, making the play. Scotty backing him up if necessary, but this time, not necessary. Love the 2 hands. Catch, cover it, done. You know, we talked about the 1 to 25 all, but how about just opportunities? You know, get an opportunity. Young man's played in 3 games last night because Canna was a little bit under the weather, so he's able to start the game. And another assist today, a couple of hits, driving in a big run.
Chapman scoops, juggles, throw to first, not in time. Look at that juggle. Just may have cost Chapman another sensational play. It's going to be a hit for Nico Goodrum. Ever so slight on the juggle.
Yeah, guys, from where I'm sitting and from this replay, you'll be able to see Chapman get around this ball immediately. Just that slight bobble, that ball sort of crept up right there off the heel onto his chest, and that split-second timing is what gave Goodrum the ability to beat that out.
And you could tell when you watched that replay, especially that last one, you could see how many steps Chapman took after the ball was in his glove. And it was about 2 steps more than he usually does, just because he was juggling it a little bit. So it'll be a hit.
But with the exception of Goodrum being hit from the left side and running well, probably anybody else would have had it. But just enough that the ball came up in the chest of Jerry Eichheim to count the steps, the extra ones that he had to take to get the ball in his hand.
He booked her.
You think about the play he made last night, coming up over the ramp of the mound, just sort of effortlessly gliding. Knew the footwork was going to take him right to the mound. Release.
So he has glasses on top of his cap. He said he does not like to wear sunglasses. Did see a pair of Oakleys. I think it was Barreto had them on, the flip-ups that we talked about, that were very nice.
So 1-0 the count to Jeimer Candelario. Candelario a walk and a fly ball to left field. Should tell you that the Mariners are winning today. They're defeating the Blue Jays 3-1 in the bottom of this 6th inning. Mariners trying to avoid being swept at home in a 4-game series. The Blue Jays outscored the Mariners 19-6 in taking the first 3 games of that series. So the Mariners in badly need of a win. They've lost 5 in a row overall, and again trailing the A's by 2.5 games in the division, that wild card. And the A's chasing the Yankees for the #1 wild card spot. Just 3.5 back now. New York will play tonight against the Red Sox, and the Yankees will try to avoid being swept in a 4-game series. Red Sox have done a number on the Yankees at Fenway Park this weekend.
Yes, they have.
the shift on. Chapman way over towards second base. 2-2 pitch. No swing.
I think they must have heard something with a left-handed hitter. He came out quickly, trying to catch, come out also quickly to throw in the event that the runner was taking off. Fegley really quick. He handled the bunt perfectly back in the second inning.
Goodrum, good speed, takes off, and the pitch is on the outside corner, strike 3 call. That's 10 strikeouts for Trevor Cahill through 6 innings. Bottom of the 6th coming up. 2-0 A's.
California is brought to you by Cresco, your #1 choice for tool and equipment rental with 19 stores to serve you in Northern California.
Mount Diablo off in the distance. Here at the Coliseum, 2-0 the A's lead. That was our home last night. All right, when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and repair experts. Victor Alcantara takes over, right-hander. We saw him in game 1 of this series. Good ERA, but just his 9th appearance.
Unfortunately, he got out of the game. He's outstanding. Was very, very good on Friday night. A bit of a funky delivery. How about Trevor Cahill? Trevor Cahill, 10 strikeouts. He had the 12 against the Orioles. It's Kansas City.
Trev had 12 against the Orioles.
Yeah.
Canna bounces it foul. There's the strikeouts.
Yeah.
Here's the first one looking, huh?
Yep. 5 of the last 6 outs were strikeouts.
Dodgers still leading the Astros. It's 3-2 in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Any word on George Springer?
You know, we've been looking. Nothing. Just the fact that he left the game.
Well, if this was hockey, it would be an upper body injury.
It would
right?
be
We'd just be left with that.
It would be a digit injury.
If it's hockey, they'd say, hang with him.
Yeah.
Let's go. I mean, you're not going to come out for that.
So 2-2 to Mark Canha. Canha has struck out and bounced back to the pitcher. What a play by Iglesias. Spins around, throws to first, and they get Canha. Nice play by the Tigers shortstop.
On the backhand, and this is what Iglesias is good. That's why it's surprising sometimes to see some of the things he does not do. But a nice play there. Remember, he came over from the Red Sox and had an abundance. There's a guy named Bogart that they needed to play. Iglesias came here.
Iglesias will be a free agent after this year, right? He's still a young player and very good defensively. It'll be interesting to see how much he is pursued.
Well, he's one of the slickest fielding shortstop the game has seen, especially in recent years. I remember a conversation I had with Dustin Pedroia and then later with Ian Kinsler. As he was coming over, Pedroia had text Kinsler, let him know, hey, be sure to get your hands up, keep your head on a swivel, and be ready, because those hands over there from Iggy are quick. So pay attention. He's one of the better ones, and you know that kind of word of mouth scouting report makes its way around the league. But Jose Iglesias, definitely one of the smoothest fielding shortstops, infielders in baseball.
1-1 to Olsen, and a strike working its way down. Olsen is a fly ball to left, and then he singled and scored in the fourth. Fouls it back just to our left. There's the breakdown of the last 100 balls put in play by Matt Olsen, so you get a pretty good idea there why the shift is on. Another pop-up. This one will reach the seats again. Lower level this time. So 1-2. Alcantara to Olsen. Adduci, the first baseman, looking up, shading his eyes, fighting it a little bit, and he makes the catch. Not easy, but Adduci hung in there. Hey, the A's just made a trade, right? More bullpen help. The A's have acquired Sean Kelly from the Washington Nationals in exchange for international slot money. His numbers this year in 35 games, 1-0 with a 3.34 ERA. So Sean Kelly, who had kind of a strange situation recently where he was brought into the game in the 9th inning of a major blowout for the Nationals and wasn't real happy about it, and he was designated for assignment. But a pretty good relief pitcher.
Yeah, has been throughout his career.
And the A's swooped in and grabbed him. So Dallas, what do you think?
I like the move. You understand. I mean, obviously there was the situation with the glove toss, if you will, on the mound. But that's obviously water under the bridge from where he's coming from now. It's a new fresh start, entering the pennant race. But we talk a lot about the market as far as starting pitching was concerned, and the names left, you know, you think about a DeGrom or the Archer before the move to Pittsburgh, and even a Syndergaard or a Hamels, and you think about the control left on these guys in their contracts. So there was going to be a heavy request, a heavy haul back if you were going to be pulling one of those guys. So the next best thing, go ahead and fortify that bullpen even more. The early arrival of Familia, now you go ahead and throw Sean Kelly into that mix. 3.34, 3.35 ERA, I believe, this year. 32 innings. So you've now got another weapon down there in that bullpen. I mean, before you know it, it's going to be a 3 or 4 inning affair for the Oakland A's starting staff.
And I mean, it's every year. It never changes. It's always significantly cheaper to acquire a reliever than it is a starter.
Absolutely.
So Sean Kelly, the newest Oakland A. I bet he'll be here Tuesday. 7th inning coming up. A's hanging on 2-0 with the lead.
It's on his way right now.
Appreciate and love the hardworking people of Michigan and Detroit. I will always cherish the friendships I made there.
I feel I can speak for the entire Tigers organization and for all Tigers fans that going into the Hall of Fame wearing the old English D makes us all very proud.
So Coors Light refreshing finish that was last Sunday. Jack Morris, Alan Trammell, both former Tigers, inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame, going in the Veterans Committee. Congratulations to those two gentlemen.
On the cover of their media guide, but very, very deserving. And I don't think there's two things that those players did. Jack Morris going 10 innings against the Braves in the World Series. Woo. Never see that again. And Alan Trammell with Lou Whitaker, 19 seasons as a double play combination. I don't think we're going to see any of that in the future of baseball. Meanwhile, they're seeing great Yusmeiro Petit, who's been doing an outstanding job. Not surprising after 93 pitches. Trevor Cahill out, 6 innings, outstanding baseball, just 3 hits. And turn it over to the bullpen.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair expert. So it is Yusmeiro Petit.
And guys, I just had the opportunity to sit down with Mookie Wilson from the 1986 World Series champion New York Mets. And I had the opportunity to ask him those questions about Jack Morris and what a guy like him meant to the game at that time. You know, there's some talk about his numbers not necessarily being Hall of Fame worthy, but what does it mean back in that day to have a starting pitcher answer the bell the way he did, go deep into ball games the way he did? And it was very apparent very quickly that the respect that his opponents had for him was very real and very thick.
Yeah, that's a great point because, and I want to say, when he was there, there's a guy named Roger Craig who taught a lot of pitchers the split finger fastball.
Yep.
And Jack Morris, one of them, Bruce Sutter, and a pitch that I'm so happy I never had to try to hit. I mean, seriously.
So another strikeout, this one by Yusmeiro Petit. Here is Jack Morris. Some highlights.
And look at the delivery right over the top, and that's why the splitter was so good. But a gamer, competitor, there it is. But I would venture to say And when he was in the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, don't even talk to him. You know, come on, just let him go out. After all, if his arm falls off, he's got all winter to get it back on.
Put it back on.
That's right.
Thought what Alan Trammell said was great.
Yeah,
the old English D,
That's
which
right.
is a classic look of the home uniforms for the Detroit Tigers, and well, they've been wearing that uniform, seems like, since day one.
They have.
19 years
Yeah.
together. That's amazing in itself. I mean, I can remember growing up, my mom telling me I'd be lucky to see 16. 19 years together at the big league level, double play tandem.
And now look at you, Dallas. Huh?
Man, the staying power.
Well, the thing that I liked then in '84, when they started the season 35-5, this is him. Watch this ball hit to right field. Oh, he pulled it into the seats. Sorry. But it seemed like Lou Whitaker would lead off with a base hit, travel to get a ball to right field, first and third, nobody out, and here go the big boys. But you know, he was such a great opposite field hitter, and a tremendous shortstop. And you can only imagine. And I remember the Dodgers had the infield of Garvey, Say at third, Russell, and Lopes. Those guys knew every move. The Orioles the same way. But whenever you know what each other's going to do, and you imagine Trammell and Whitaker playing 19 consecutive seasons together, I mean, they could flip the ball blindfolded and still know where the ball is going to be. And nice people also. There's nobody better than Alan Trammell.
Right to Simeon. And McCann is retired. So 2 gone here in the top of the 7th inning.
Number 60, Ronnie Rodriguez.
So here's Ronnie Rodriguez. Rodriguez, a couple of strikeouts, 11 strikeouts for A's pitchers. Petit paints the outside corner, and you know what? And this is actually a compliment to Alfonso Marquez. He's had a nice pitcher strike zone today.
It's the first time I've heard his name.
And that's a great point.
That's
right.
a good thing.
That's right. And really, the time that I mentioned, when it was a check swing, he appealed to first. I mean, he looked down and said, "What do you think?" He didn't even say, "I'm not going to make the call myself. I'd rather have the guy at first base do it because he can see it better." No, umpires always say, if you don't mention my name, that means it's a good day. Let my pass list congratulate me after the game.
And probably a little bit more of a pitcher strike zone, but
Nothing wrong with that.
no, I agree.
Because
Keeps the game rolling in the right direction. Swing it.
that's right. I think that's the biggest thing. Tell hitters, even before they come to first batter, you better be swinging the bat because I'm going to be calling them.
That one drops a little bit low. Good take by Rodriguez. Straightaway defense set up by the Athletics. So Yusmeiro Petit, who threw a couple of innings in the extra inning victory on Friday night. I think you could say that Yusmeiro Petit has been exactly what the A's had hoped for.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Workhorse, ability to throw multiple innings. And he is not a long reliever.
By no means.
No. Not a long reliever.
The idea of mop up or anything like that doesn't exist.
No. Three and 2 to Rodriguez. And he just missed outside. So 2-out walk. Here's Victor Reyes.
Now batting, number 22, Victor Reyes.
For a walk.
Bat flipping for everything now.
It's bat flipping season. Just ask Mark Canna.
Yes.
Listen, he struck out twice. He got to first base. So maybe that's why he's flipping it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Piscotty should get there, and he does. So Petit with a walk and a strikeout in the 7th. We've reached the 7th inning stretch. Still 2-0 A's.
Championship Plaza, and I'm going to ask people what they know about the program.
Chris Guest Services, how are you?
I'm doing excellent. Have you guys heard of the new A's Access program?
We have.
Have you heard about our new Access program? Have you ever thought about joining?
Are you our CLO?
Yes.
That's what I thought. All right, I was like, I was looking at you, I was like, you look really familiar.
We're having a little fun. You see that camera up there? You see that camera up there?
All right, well, the A's and COO Chris Giles had some fun with fans celebrating the launch of A's Access. Watch the full version on Pregame Live or A's Social tomorrow. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. It's the lone lefty in the Tigers bullpen coming in, Daniel Stumpf. And he's going to face Laureano, Fegley, and then Simeon.
And while Stumpf is pitching, Lou Trevino is heating up in the bullpen.
And there's going to be another hit for Laureano. Young man is 3 for 3. So certainly a weekend to remember for Ramon Laureano.
Well, aggressive early. Trying to crowd him inside with a fastball from Stumpf. Laureano has shown us already today a couple of these balls just dropping right in on the other side of the infield. He's strong. He can fight pitches off. Speedy. Good arm. Good fit.
You think of 3 hits today and 1 on Friday night. 3 of the 4 have gone to right field. The other one to left center. So a good approach by the young right-handed hitter. It's his first 3-hit game of his young career. Evidently his parents very emotional for them this weekend, and why not? See their son, of course his fiance, and everybody watching him this weekend, and the dream coming true to see him playing in the big leagues.
Well, with 2 more lefties coming up, the A's will face on Tuesday and Wednesday. He will probably be in there both of those games. So 1-1 the count to Fegley. The Blue Jays scored a couple runs in the 7th inning to tie up the Mariners. That game 3-3 in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Well, remember that every club has an out-of-town scoreboard, so the Mariners have gotten a chance to watch their out-of-town scoreboard showing the A's hosting the Tigers. And they know that they played Thursday. The A's were off. They lost. And to your point, they have lost 3 in a row up there. The Blue Jays have, or the Mariners have. I say Blue Jays because that's their home field advantage. The Canadians coming south to watch their team play in Seattle.
Begley swings and misses. So 2-2 the count to Josh Begley. Trevino looks like he's loose and ready to go out in the A's bullpen. Inside, 3-2. Trevino with the pants up today.
Yeah, good look. I don't think it's going to affect his throwing.
It's still 100.
With movement.
Begley chased the pitch in the dirt, so that's a strikeout. So 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Here's our Wells Fargo look ahead, and it is that Dodgers A's series coming up. Dodgers and A's since the break. Dodgers 8-8, the A's 11-4. So the Dodgers scuffling a little bit. Still a very, very talented team. They're coming into today's action. They are not in first place in the National League West. They're actually a game behind the Arizona Diamondbacks. Dodgers certainly feel like they will be in the postseason. Dodgers had that run last year, like the A's are having right now.
Exactly right. And when you have those kind of runs, that's why people, haters, say, the A's eventually have a tough go. But, you know, maybe they had there at the beginning of the season.
Dodgers won the division last year by 11 games. Runner goes, the throw off the glove of Rodriguez. And Laureano thought about going as he sailed right over the bag. And he gets the 1-out stolen base.
Went on first move by Stump, and watch him take off with the first move. Looking back, which would indicate hit and run, but I don't know. Maybe that was the case, but also looked like that had Rodriguez held on to the ball, he's going to be out, tagging him on the backside. But he did overslide the bag, asking for time, then realized the ball was past him or into center field. That better get back.
I like that. You ask for time before the play's over.
That's right.
That's right. Before the slide is complete.
As soon as if you can ask for time, well, you're 75% done with your slide. What a great way to never overslide the bag.
That's right. You take replay out of it.
Or if you know you're going to be out, just raise your hand. Time. Well, it's got a chance to fall. Coming in right field is Gerber, and he makes the catch. So 2 away. We love this.
Well, he got a good jump as he went on first move. I'm a little surprised that the play was as close as it was. And there's the slide. There's the hand up. He's sliding past the bag. So, you know, if Rodriguez had held the ball and held the tag, does the timeout there constitute no replay?
Well, you know, there's the old continuation play, Ray.
But
that was beautiful.
But in New York, well, he put his hand up. Were you granting him time when he overslid the bag?
It's a page out of old Beltre's book there.
That's right.
Checking down. Well, first base umpire. Did he go? Nope. Check him. Check him.
The one thing Ariana's going to have to do is talk to the great Ricky Henderson, because Ricky could slide. I don't ever remember seeing him overslide the bag. He used his body, slide over the bag, but somehow his foot, something stayed on the bag.
0-2 to Matt Chapman.
The man of steel. He could do it all. That stance right there. He's at full speed. First step. And then sliding head first. And he said it's like landing an airplane. Just never wanted to be a pilot.
Chapman looking for his first hit. If he gets it, not going to run.
Fortunately, Laureano got his hit with a runner in scoring position. That is the only one. Is KD. Chris Davis hit the home run leading off the 4th inning. What do we figure? 1 for 16. The A's have been in runners in scoring position in 2 games, but you know, from the Tigers' standpoint, they had one last night, and that's the extent of theirs for the series. I think to Dallas's point earlier, just there are times that the pitchers have to say, okay, offense is not really going to score us a lot. Pitching, defense, let's see if we can win a game that way. And you're going to win more that way than probably outscoring teams.
Chapman down the left field line, and that baby is gone. 4-0 A's.
Old chapstick here, trying to go slider down and in towards that back foot. Soft coming to Matt Chapman. It better be located down and dirty, and that is not the case. Chappie opens up that front side, lets the head fly through. All aboard! Next stop, Pound Town!
That's one of the problems, that if you miss the slider, it does not get to the back foot. Hitter can get it beforehand. And Chapman did that. 2 strikes. He's so strong. He had a 2-strike home run last night against Zimmerman. 2 strikes today against Stump. Left-hander trying to go back foot, didn't make it, and dropped the head of the bat on it.
So home run number 15 for Matt Chapman.
That's a good hit with a runner in scoring position.
That's a good one. So the A's 2 home runs today, 2 last night, so 4 total in the series, and now 152 on the year. They're 4th in the American League in total home runs hit, 5th in the league in runs scored. These are also 3rd in the league in doubles. Jed Lowry today is grounded out a couple times and he's lined out. I think we have a young man that made the play. He's got a souvenir. Sweet shades too.
Yeah.
Styling, man.
Got the Oakland jersey on with the Oakland cap on. Got a pelota. Maybe they were handing him a contract.
Rex Barney.
It's Rex Barney. Give that fan a contract. Usually those are on foul balls. That was a lean you down the left field line for a home run. Still, he's got it all decked out.
No swing. So the A's with 2 big insurance runs here in the bottom of the 7th. They lead 4-0. Lowry swings and misses, side retired. Matt Chapman with a 2-run shot. And as we head to the 8th inning, the A's 6 outs away from a sweep. They lead the Tigers 4-0.
A's Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
So the A's leading the Tigers 4-0. Trying to finish off a season series sweep as well of Detroit. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and repair experts. Lou Trevino comes in. Trevino pitched last night, 19 pitches, inning and 2/3. He's facing the top of this Tigers lineup. Lou Trevino facing Gerber, Iglesias, and Castellanos.
Trevino makes it look easy with that effortless delivery, and all of a sudden the ball's on top of the hitter.
Well, it's limited movement. It's not max effort. He's a big fella standing out there on the mound. Feels like he's about 40 feet away from you when he lets it go.
2 earned runs in 31 innings. That's his last 25 appearances.
Dominance.
This Joe Jimenez, the all-star for the Tigers. Line drive and a base hit to right field. So that's how the top of the 8th starts, with a leadoff single.
The problem for any pitcher is to get ahead 0-2 and then give up a hit, and that's exactly what happened with the breaking ball coming in on him. Throws a nice cutter, but that cutter just did not get down to the back foot. As like Trinan said, Trevino's got a nice cutter. Trinan has a slider. They both kind of act the same, although Trinan's a little bit bigger. Throwing hard.
We saw it last night from Trinan. Some of those slider cutters, whatever you want to call them, 93, 95.
Yeah, that's
That's just, it's unfair.
Yeah, if you get any movement at all, breaking like they should. Like Trinan, who got the save again last night.
Very high pop-up, shallow left. And Canna at the last minute calls on Marcus Semien for the first out. So 1 out for Castellanos.
Just watching, of course, we saw it last night from the treehouse when Martini came in. Semien went out. The ball clanked and dropped and unearned run in the first inning. But really, Piscotty's been the only consistent player in the outfield. The right fielder, Piscotty. Otherwise, in center and left, it's kind of been rotating a little bit. But I think familiarity will definitely help when an infielder is going out and an outfielder comes in. Kind of have an idea that once they call for it, you peel out of the way.
Castellanos is 0 for 3 in the ball game. He's 2 for 12 in this series. Going right off the end of the bat, and now the count 0-2. Well, the Mariners scored 3 times in the 7th inning, and the Mariners now lead the Blue Jays 6-3, top of the 8th. Dodgers still leading the Astros 3-2, bottom of the 7th in Los Angeles.
Of those 4 teams playing, only the Blue Jays really not playing for much. The other 3 are.
A little flare, got a chance to be trouble, and it is. Bounces fair. Castellanos with a big turn. He's going to hustle back to first. Gerber stops at second. So 2 on and 1 out.
And again, a 2-strike pitch, and Trevino is getting ahead. There comes the spinner again, and Castellanos, who We have seen in this series already the pitches down and away he's been flailing at. This one, though, it was up. And although not hit hard, that's the case of Olsen holding the runner first. Farther to go if Castellanos, if anybody had been the first. Of course, that's really not a bad play for a pitcher to cover first with first baseman going after it. Castellanos was really round of the bag, thinking that it was going to be 2.
So here's Nico Goodrum. Goodrum is 1 for 3. Bounces one towards second. See if the A's can turn 2, and they will. Just like that, the inning's over. Tigers do not score. Bottom of the 8th coming up.
Toyota, designed for the grind that comes through every time. See your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. By Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Xfinity, X1 will change the way you experience TV.
Here's our game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. No runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Tigers. 4 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Athletics. Trevor Cahill, another solid outing. Home runs by Davis and Chapman. 3 hits for Ramon Laureano. And the A's, so far in this series, have allowed 1 run. And it was an unearned run. That's an unearned outfit right there.
That's BG staying alive, staying alive. He's staying alive, all right, especially with that outfit.
All right, Dallas, we got to bring it up. He stood in front of the mirror. Went, you know what? I'm going with the banana outfit, and I like it.
I look good today, boy.
I don't know what he was thinking.
Roll toward first. Saducci has it. Chris Davis is out.
Chrysler drive of the game is now the time for KD to go oppo against Nelson Laureano. Fastball down. This ball just kept going. Right center field, home run. Number 31 for Chris Davis. That would give the A's a 1-0 lead. And then a little bit later in the inning, Ramon Laureano with a big base hit to right field, drive home Matt Olson.
So, Ray, 1 run allowed in this series. It was unearned.
Yes, it was. That's right.
Jackson.
Yeah.
And yesterday in the first inning, a little pop-up that should have been caught.
But Kipe also, how about scoring only 7 runs and possibly winning 3? Because 1 and 13 on Friday, 2 last night, 4 today.
Yeah, that hit Canna.
But that's impressive. 0 earned runs so far in 13, 9, 22, and 8 30 innings.
Mark Canna just catches a little heater off the elbow there. Just a glancing blow. Not a flesh wound. We've got ice. He'll be fine.
Mark Canna said, easy for you to say.
So Chapman was hit earlier, and now Canna. First pitch to Olson, just missed.
That's a good point you bring up about Matt Chapman, because he lined the ball to center field in his previous at bat and is familiar getting boost, but then it hit the 2-run home run. Boy, there's some concern when a player does get hit, lower extremities, how it might affect them. But good to see Matt Chapman just so strong, upper body to lace one.
Quick throw down to first, and Canna dives back. He's with 2 in the 4th and 2 in the 7th. Well, if this outcome of this game stays the way it is and the A's could get themselves a win, Dodgers hang on down there. The A's could be 4 back of the Astros. Olson drives one left center field, hit pretty well, and that baby is gone. That's a 2-run shot, folks, and now it's a 6-0 A's lead.
We saw it in Boston. Craig Kimroy goes opposite field up over the Green Monster, and tremendous power for this young man. Takes a low fastball at 96, and the pitcher, let's point up Jimenez. Yeah, he put it up as the ball just kept traveling. What a great swing. That's almost like a golf swing. Just the follow through, the ball just keeps carrying over the State Farm sign, over the out-of-town scoreboard, and a 2-run home run opposite field for Matt Olson.
So number 22 for Olson. So he now has 54 RBIs on the year.
Matt Olson, his first since Jadiquino, when he got 2 against the Giants.
Iglesias grabs it, spins his throw in the dirt. Adduci with a nice play. Piscotty's out. Left-handed hitters in Major League Baseball. Most home runs since last June 24th. Gallo with 51. Olson with 46. How about that?
But I guess Charlie Blackmon does. He's not smiling. The other 2 are smiling. Maybe Blackmon just doesn't smile. What's that song they play in Denver, where they said at the end of something right or something, and the fans get involved in the walk-up music?
He's got $85 million.
That's right. He doesn't have to smile. But Matt Olson shows the power. That's impressive when you think about going opposite field that strongly. And he has the power, and you know, just everything about him is so smooth. Playing first, hitting the ball. Well, the announcement, first 3-hit game. How about first 4-hit game for Ramon Laureano?
Buchter's now up. Excuse me, Ray. Well, like most right-handed hitters, that pitch right there is the one you got to lay off.
Well, and you know, he was not doing that in the first 2 games, and maybe just enough getting some consistent playing. He's recognizing the spin, realizes it's going to be off the plate. He's not flailing at it, which he did Friday and Saturday.
Good pitch there by Jimenez. Don't you think, Dallas, if you're a right-handed hitter, a good hard slider down and away. Listen, most guys are not going to hit that. What you don't want to do is you don't want to swing and miss at it. Just take it. Easy to say.
Very easy to say.
But you know what I'm saying? The real good hitters, maybe you got to try to lay off that pitch as much as you can.
what you do is you, as we say, you zone them up. You pick a spot, you're looking for a pitch. If it's not there, you spit on it, you let it go. And that's just having a feel for your zone, personally.
3-2 pitch is hit hard right to Iglesias. And the side is retired, but another home run for the A's. This one, a 2-run shot by Matt Olson, his 22nd of the year. So 9th inning coming up. A's 3 outs away from a sweep. They lead it 6-0.
California Ford dealers. He would struck out 10. The biggest probably the first inning when he had the bases loaded. Struck out the batter, but then continued after that. Great changeup, good curveballs, good sinkers down and in. Everything working extremely well for Trevor Cahill. And 10 strikeouts, double figures again after 12 against the Royals. And you're seeing all the strikeouts and all those good breaking balls thrown hard. And then a backdoor there for the final strikeout of his game. Nice job by Trevor Cahill.
So 6-0, the A's lead it. And Ryan Buchter comes in, his first appearance in the series. He last pitched on Wednesday. And he'll face Candelario, Ducey, and McCann. First pitch, that hard slider from Buchter. So the bullpen again in this series, Ray. Of course, all the pitching in this series, and we just said he's only allowed 1 earned run. But so far in this series, the bullpen 10 2/3 innings, 12 strikeouts. Canna shading his eyes, fighting it a little bit, but he's got it. Nice play by Mark Canna. That's not easy, folks. Of course, the sunglasses are on top of the hat, but he didn't need them, I don't think.
No, probably not, as it's towards center field a little bit, but he did have to use his glove a lot. But evidently he knows the outfield, whether to use the sunglasses or not. Sounded good off the bat. Didn't go anywhere. Let's see, where should I play?
So here's lefty on lefty Ducey, and he swings and misses.
Tell you, credit today with all those breaking pitches you saw from Trevor Cahill. Credit to Josh Fegley doing a great job blocking pitches in the dirt. And for someone who has not been catching a lot, caught last weekend in Denver. Jonathan Lucroy catching most of the games this week. Actually 13 innings on Friday night and last night as well. Also, Marcus Jensen really works the catchers hard in between or even when they're catching to work on the blocking in the dirt.
1-2 now, Ducey. Yeah, they're out there quite a bit.
Do a good job, and it pays off a lot, especially from the pitcher standpoint, when you can know that you throw the ball hard, throw it in the dirt, and it's going to be blocked.
Like that. Yeah. Fegley's still working hard. This young man, he's feeling good about the A's chances. Usually those flags, you know, you haul them out, Ray, right after the game is over and you finish off the win. This young man says, with our bullpen, a 6-0 lead, I'm going to get started.
Tell you what, the wind's holding him back, though, with that. That's a big old A's banner.
Lowry and Simeon, a little collision. And it looks like Jed Lowry grabbed it. Marcus Simeon walks away.
He just turns his back and walks away. What are you doing? You know?
So 2 away. How about this? In A's franchise history, we're talking season series sweeps. In 1990, Ray, the A's swept the season series 12 games from the Yankees.
That's right. Remember that, yeah.
This year, they did it to the Blue Jays, 7-0, and they're 1 out away from doing it to the Tigers.
That's right.
That means you got to sweep a series on the road, which is very difficult to do, and the A's obviously have done that in Toronto and in Detroit. First pitch is a strike to James McCann. Good breaking ball from Booker, drops it right in there, and the count is 0-2. So the crowd on its feet, over 19,000 today. Trying to finish off the sweep and get the A's their 6th consecutive win. Booker kicks and deals the 0-2 pitch. McCann checked his swing. Dodgers still leading the Astros 3-2 in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Mariners have won their game 6-3 over the Blue Jays. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and that's the ball game. And that is a sweep, folks. This series and a season series sweep. The A's over the Detroit Tigers. So it just rolls along, folks. The A's win what seems like every single day.
I think, you know, I just strongly believe that the A's feel that when they come to the park right now, and say what you want, if you're an expert, you think they're going to have a downswing, and maybe they will. But if they did it in Colorado, they lost 3 straight, they'd come back and won 6 in a row after losing 3 straight last weekend in Colorado. But, you know, when everybody's contributing, and to the point today, 6 innings by Trevor Cahill, 6 great innings, and picks up the win, 10 strikeouts, and then turn over the bullpen. That's a great formula.
So the A's win it today. 2 hours and 41 minutes was your time of game. The attendance was 19,559. Final score, shutout fashion. The A's over the Tigers 6-0. Time now for A's postgame live. Let's head out to the Treehouse.